Now we are moving to our next speakers. We have two most learned speakers today with us. One is Professor Ck Bhardwaj. He will be speaking on genetic engineering for would-be mothers. And another speaker is Dr. Arun Upadhyay. He's a retired IPS officer from Odisha, and he will be giving some highlights on Pari-birth Sanskāras. So I invite uh, Vinita ji again to introduce our second speaker, Professor Ck Bhardwaj. Vinita Ramkhilavan from UK. You please introduce
Thank
our
you. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Prakashji. I would now like to introduce our second esteemed guest in this international seminar, Professor Ck Bhardwaj ji. He was awarded with a doctorate degree from the Intercultural Open University at Openda, the Netherlands in 2007. Before this, he was awarded with an MBA from the Faculty of Management, Ministry of Industrial Development by the University of Delhi in 1969. He has an interest in research and the development and implementation of curricula for primary, secondary, and higher education. He has delivered lectures and presentations on modern technology and ancient wisdom. He has a long and prestigious association with many national and international organizations. He was an advisor to the Swami Vivekananda Center in Mauritius. He also has been associated with Russian Academies of the Sciences for Research and Development. Professor Ck Bhardwaj, I would like to invite you on behalf of the Maharshi Dayanand Chair to deliver your lecture on genetic engineering for would-be mothers. Professor G, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank Professor Ravi to invite me here in this conference. And this is quite relevant. And Uthalia Sahab has done a wonderful job by explaining and giving the whole scenario on which we got to deliberate. Now, I would like to say that my mother is now 102 years, and she did genetic engineering in my case. When she conceived me, she wanted to, she meditated that my child should work on science and spirituality. Vigyan or Adhyatma ka samanvay kare. These are the words of the mother. And that is how it all fructified in the same process. Because all my life I've been looking for it and unknowingly trying to understand things. I was in industry and connected to various academies of sciences all over the world. And every time I'll talk to the scientist on these aspects, what it is. And all that knowledge which my mother gave me started developing, in a beautiful manner. And in Russia, we had a conference on self-regulation of the human organism. That how we can really understand all that part which Professor Uthalia been talking about Darwin's evolution theory and everything. So let me come to the basic point, I would like to give you a small little synopsis that how really this genetic engineering can be done by mothers. Because once we are in the womb, the beliefs do the programming of your cells. And there is a movie which I won't be able to show you today. We can interact on it later on, that how the experience builds the brain architecture of the children. Now, how they really understand things in the womb also, and even outside the womb. The initial 7 years are the most important years for them to understand things. Apart from that, I would like to tell you that how really, as Professor Kuthalia been talking about Manu Smriti, that how 5 years, 7 years, and 12 years children, they may belong to any religion, any caste system. They got to, they learn, as very rightly Raviji said, ke janam jaite hum log sab, we are all Shudras. But then how to really develop this part is a most important thing. That how the Gurukul's been doing this job. They were picking up children and training them up and making them what they got to be. So how to really become superhumans is a process. Now let me quickly go to the whole point. I would like to tell you that we see this whole universe, like we see our earth and the blue sky over our head. So this is what we see the world. But now the science has taken a leap and they have sent that Planck satellite camera to scan the whole sky. So in one picture, you can see this, expanding universe in one particular visible universe. And that shows you, we could look it with that angle because my mother wanted me to do that. So all those things from within, they were working on that. Since I was in metallurgy, I was knowing that how this non-material would have created the material because I was dealing with alloys. So all these questions from within started developing. And what I could see in this huge big globe, huge big ball, having billions of stars and galaxies floating into it, we could see it with a different angle altogether, which was the spiritual angle. Now God has created the whole universe and this universe is now visible. Having those floating material bodies into it, we call it as Panchatattva, but in science we teach them 100 and odd elements and periodic table. So all those floating material bodies are floating in the whole cosmos from its beginning till its end, from Big Bang to black hole. So Mahapralaya, the whole thing is moving that way. So these are all floating material bodies in it. The another field which really puts them together and moves it, like gravitational magnetic fields or Higgs field, etc., whatever you may call it, we call it as universal mind, Brahmandi Man.
Sir, you are muted. Kindly unmute.
Sorry, somebody would have. But now, well, how much you have lost, my talk? How many minutes?
Brahman मान की बात आप कर रहे थे.
Okay. Brahmandiman. So now I was talking about the Brahmandiman, the whole cosmos, which is embedded with information system, 2G, 3G, 6G, internet is all operative from that. And then there are laws of nature. If the apple falls, the calculations are done right. What are all laws of nature? So this is what is the universal mind embedded with information system and laws of nature. And there is an energy which really energizes the field as well as each atom. So let me say the whole creation is an intelligent design, and there got to be an intelligent being who's doing it all. So looking into that, I would like to say even a blade of grass is intelligently designed. So this is very clear that that intelligent being is doing everything even now. Here in my body, it is running my system 24/7 as it is running the whole cosmos. Now my body, which is, I'm also having 3 replica of the Brahmande, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. Now this, my material body is made out of 100 and odd elements. My mind I have acquired from the universal mind, and I am representing the absolute intelligence capable force that energizes the whole cosmos. Because in my scriptures, the first sentence, the first shloka came up, Ekaham Bhausham. It became from one to many. Then one out of us started the creation known as Kal Bhagwan in stories and how we really know that part. So one out of us, a colleague of ours, started creating, as Lord Krishna also says, I am Mahakal. So he's calling Arjuna as a Parth, as a friend. So they are friends together. So now that Lord, which is Lord of time, which created the material. So now here non-material created the material is a wonderful area. We can add, this Higgs boson, the CERN experiment, that Higgs boson had got the ability to attract. So we are all particles of light connected to our source through the sound, known as nada. And this is what is known as, worded Bible and Kalma and Quran, etc. Well, our scriptures have got all that knowledge.
Sir, again muted.
Somebody else is doing this muting because there is nothing here which I can do. But anyhow, now the part is that the whole cosmos is one living entity.
Same problem, yes.
So
Sir, I
now this
suggest you once leave and then rejoin. Probably there might be some technical thing. I mean,
yeah, this is time and again, this is what is happening.
आप एक बार leave the meeting and rejoin, I think.
Acha ji, I will do that. Because I have got so much of exciting things to tell you. I'll just do that.
We are more excited than you to hear, sir.
Well, this is what is happening again and again. I do not know, but still, can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Now, I would like to say that this intelligent being, each particle of light, because Almighty became from one to many, Ek Aham Bahusham. So we are all particles of light. That being of light vibrated and the sound emerged, because some of the saints explained it beautifully well. A prem sindh se moj ut jagat kiya ujjas. It was the sea of love which became from one to many. And then we are all particles and it vibrated, the sound emerged. So we are all connected through that sound to our source. And one out of us created the time-bound material creation. Maybe we call him as goddamn particle, as the CERN people said, you know. So this is what is, that each one of us has got an ability to attract. So the first atom came up as hydrogen, and the Higgs field, you know, could put those two hydrogen atoms together to create the helium, and hydrogen and helium fused together and then created the first galaxy of suns. So in my scriptures, it is written that the first knowledge was given to the sun gods. And now there were only suns. The whole, galaxy was of suns only. Then, you know, we could find recently that there are 22 places the radio signals are coming. So there, what they could find, that two suns together, one is a neutron star and another sun revolving around it, are there. And whenever the other sun comes in front, the radio signal stops. Because that pulsar, which is a star like, you know, condensed from 3 times the sun, if it is condensed into a city like Delhi, no, it becomes a neutron star. And that is revolving 700 times per second on its axis and emitting gamma rays, millions of degrees of temperature, to burn the revolving sun. At 22 places, this is what is happening. We have got all those videos of science. And that ionized material, after burning the sun, is there in the form of gaseous material. And this is how 100 and odd elements got created. These two suns blast again, and they carry their own material into different directions. I'll be coming to that point of genetic engineering little later. Let me explain this part, because this is what is the key knowledge of spirituality, that how creative intelligence will be operating everywhere. So now our molten earth got formed, you know, the water came in as comets, and the water came in, the life started. And I have got those videos we can share later on, rather everybody can have it. I'll do that part. Now this life starts here in a beautiful...
We will have a separate seminar on all
this. Yes, we will have that. Yeah. But now I would like to tell you, because this is what I am hurriedly explaining, that how life started. You, as part of the absolute intelligence capable force in the form of light, you are a particle of light connected with the sound current to your source. Now the first life starts with synthesis of proteins. As we've been talking about Darwin's evolution theory, but Thalia ji been talking about this. So let me explain this, that you as a soul, with that light and sound, because you are light and sound. And this light and sound, if it strikes on pure elements, converts them into amino acids, and amino acids synthesize the proteins. Because the water had come on this globe, you know, the molten body, and it was boiling, cooling down, and it created the compounds of elements as proteins. And the children are taught in the school that how the first cell amoeba is made. So amoeba is made, you know, that single cell, if light and sound strikes on pure elements, converts them into amino acids, and amino acids synthesize the proteins. So the first cell came up. Now here, something beautiful happened because I listened to the satsangs of my mother. Now we are starting how that genetic engineering has to work, right from that single cell to graduate to the crown of creation, the human body. Now, you know, you as a soul acquired the laws of nature from the universal mind, and then you created the body by using the material available as a compounds of elements in the proteins. Now, let me tell you that how the Rishi Muni yogis, you know, in the Vedic culture, 88,000 of them been sitting in meditation, and all that knowledge started descending on them because the knowledge comes like that. So you already part of absolute intelligence capable force, you already knew how to really develop that first single cell and then to graduate to the crown of creation, the human body. Here I would like to tell that you acquired the mind and you created, your soul acquired the mind and created the sketch of a human body, because the cause was to come and feel the creation. So you started your journey. And then you refined causal mind and causal body into an astral mind and an astral body with a huge big blueprint from where you will start from a single cell to graduate to the crown of creation, the human body. So you had all the plans with you in the astral form, which is your dream state kind of a thing. Then from that you came out to form a real physical cell, the single cell, which you synthesize the proteins. So what really happens, that you come out of the astral region and make the first material body of a cell, and then you have got mind and soul together there, because you have acquired the mind and you have got layers of minds, like causal mind, astral mind, and physical mind connected to the universal mind, which deals with laws of nature. Every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. So we are here working for sustainable human transformation by giving them this knowledge that how this really started and how intelligent being is that soul which runs your system 24/7. Now I would like to say the cell dies there. The mind and the soul goes back to the astral region, regroups it again as per the plan, you know, as per the blueprint, comes out again to form a double cell organism. Then it again dies. It goes back again to make a multi-cell organism. Gradually, it crossed 8.4 million species to create the crown of creation, the human body. Now you look, when we were from the apes, we became human beings, you know, and we all became selfish because we thought we are a body only. And the mind, whatever we had got, whatever we learned from outside, that was mind, you know. Mind, we have explained at the physical level that it deals with the information, the experiences and events in your life. That information remains with you. So this is what is your mind, which deals with information only, nothing more than that, plus laws of nature, because all the minds.
Your video is lost.
I think Dr. Saab somehow has lost, network.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, but still. Hello.
The problem, technology.
So while you're waiting, can I ask a question?
Yes,
Namaste.
yes.
Namaste.
Namaste. Indrani ji, yes, you ask.
Okay, quick question. What is the nature of the Atman, the soul? We should not be using that English translation of soul.
Yeah.
So he was given like the Atman, and he indicated the mind was separate from the Atman. Can you just give a brief something on the Atman?
Certainly, that answer question will ask him, because he's just talking about the mind and the soul. In fact, mind in Vedic perspective, mind and soul has been defined. But first of all, we would like to ask him, because he's talking about that. Let me call him, I think. Or we can start with our next speaker.
Indrani ji, what is your perspective on Atman? In fact, because
I am trying to clarify it.
does have the seeds of answer in it.
In fact, Atman is the pure spiritual thing, and the mind is the material aspect that is attached with the Atman. That's the whole thing. And because the Atman, it takes birth from.
I believe in the Dvaita. I know we believe in the Dvaita angle of Atman, Prakriti, and Purusha being separate.
Isn't that mind is incidental? Mind
Hello?
is incidental to Atman.
Just
Hello?
We'll drop it here. Now we'll start with
please.
the next speaker.
Please. Yes,
Next
thank you.
And I would like to invite again Vinita Ramkhilavan just to introduce our third speaker. And Arun Upadhyay. Vinita ji, just introduce him.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ji. I would now like to introduce our third honored guest in this international seminar. Shri Arun Upadhyay Ji is a retired IPS officer. He was born in 1952 to a family following the Vedic tradition of Kashi. He was awarded a MSc in physics in 1974 and again in the subject of forestry in 1976 and subsequently.
I'm back again.
And
Bhardwaj, what
Hi.
happened?
Internet problem came up, sir.
You were off the radar.
Yeah. Because internet.
Okay, you just finish.
Internet had gone, sir. Can I continue?
Yeah. Continue. Please.
Okay, I was just explaining that how 8.4 million times we have taken birth and we have again died, So that dying and all that experience being there. Now I would like to come to the human body where we became selfish, instead of becoming selfless, we became selfish because we thought we are a body only. And there was no proper education system for the people to tell that they are having this mind and they are a soul, which is part of all knowing, all pervading. Now you see in the mother's womb, that small little single cell named zygote is produced. The egg of the mother, the first single cell is zygote. And that zygote is becoming from one to many in the mother's womb. Ekam Bahusham is taking place there. The God Almighty, all-knowing, all-pervading is down there. It has got all that information of mother and father. This is what has to be known to the modern people now, that it is part of all-knowing, all-pervading. So what it does, it has got all that information. What will be the color of the eyes? What will be the features of the mother? And what is the feature of the father? And then something mixing together. So this cell named zygote is becoming from one to many. And when this zygote cell is becoming from one to many, it travels down to the location of the heart and transforms itself into a cell of a heart. Again becomes from one to many, ekam bahusham. And it is creating the whole heart, which is working like a pump. The same cell goes down to the kidney, develops the whole kidney, which works like a filter. The same cell goes to the eye, which is much more complex than your brain, and develops that whole eye. Now, once that child is out there, it is in the womb. Now there, I believe 100% that the beliefs do the programming of the cells. Mother is there. If she knows to meditate and she can understand and can design the child within her womb, that how she can really transform that, because you use what to use to do this. Now I'm coming to that point. Now at the screen you can see the face, which has got two eyes, and those two optical nerves go in the center of the head, and then it further splits and the picture is formed at the back of the head. Now this central point, which is connected to the ears also, is the location of your soul. This creative intelligence, which is connected to absolute intelligence capable force in all the time, it is in real time, it is connected. The outer expression is your attention. And this attention is like an omni-scanner. This can see and act in all the directions. It's a capable force. And you are representing the absolute here through your attention. Wherever the attention goes, the divine energy flows. So now this attention in yoga, there are physical yoga, mental yoga, and spiritual yoga. I am talking of the spiritual yoga. So what really happens, once this attention goes to the physical area, you do your all yogic exercises, which is physical yoga, because you use the same attention. Everybody is doing it in yoga. Now the same attention is used for the mind also to do mental yoga. And the same attention has to be used to do spiritual yoga, where you withdraw this attention to this location, which I have showed you on the screen. That is the location from where the spirit of your soul operates. So if you withdraw the attention, it is not focusing of attention, my dear. Once you focus it, it goes downwards and outwards into the world through the senses of the body. So this attention which has gone out has to be brought back. So first it passes through the mind, which is having tons of information all the time. It has got layers of mind. So what happens that this attention, is being withdrawn by the mind and body, because this was never told. This has never come in the education system, that you are a soul and how the soul operates. So what really is happening? Look, the body needs are there. Number one, hunger, clothes, housing, vanities of the world, sex and sleep. Now, and mind deals with the information, experiences and events, which is now known as lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, fears and worries. Now the attention is being withdrawn by the hunger, which is the first requirement of the body. Now this attention is the capable force, which takes you stepwise towards the kitchen. By the time you are going towards the kitchen, the mind adds on the information of taste it wants to have. It is based on that information. कि उसको गंगूराम हलवाई का दही भल्ला खाना है. Now this is how the attention has been withdrawn by the mind. Now the mind tells, the money is lying under the mother's pillow. There is a vehicle standing there. Now there is a shop. All information. You go and bring that thing, that tasty thing, which goes to the tongue. After 1.5 inch of tongue, there is no taste at all. So what is happening? Body and mind are using your soul like a slave, day in and day out, for all your life. Now this particular attention is like an omni-scanner. This is connected to absolute. This is capable of making any artificial intelligence. If you know how to really de-link your attention from body and mind and link it to the source by withdrawing your attention to that location, not by focusing. Now, a lot of scientific information is needed to work on it. And I think this forum, which is working like this and under Raviji's chairmanship rather, and if Professor B.K. Kuthalia-ji agrees, we can form a small little group to work on all that work which I have done from the last 29 years. So what we are doing, we are telling the child outside. Of course, the mother will do all that part, but outside, as soon as the child is growing, about 1.5 to 2 years old, when he goes to the nursery class, the first chapter we have, because we are working on developing international curriculum on human values, ethics, skills, habits, and wisdom development program. Wisdom is how to use that knowledge, because, knowledge is only information, my dear. You may call it as intellect, but that intelligence, which is like an omni-scanner, can really scan the information of the mind and can pick up what is legitimate to be worked on and what is illegitimate, body needs and needs of the mind. So this is how one has to understand this particular phenomena, that how we are starting this education from the nursery class. We are starting it with the story of the seed. That seed is also three, as you are three, body, mind, and soul. And this body, mind, and soul is connected to the whole cosmos, because the cosmic body, cosmic mind, and the absolute. So that seed is also like that. It has got a body of a material. It has got a mind. वो गेहूं का है, चने का है, आम का है. If it is of a mango or a wheat, it has got all that information and laws of nature embedded in that seed. It will know that how many branches will be there, how many fruits will be there, how many flowers, and when the mangoes will come. So it knows all about the seasons, etc. It knows all those laws of nature are there. And then that creative intelligence is there. So that seed, if you put it in a dry sand, it won't germinate, my dear. So now I'm trying to tell you about the intelligence within. And that is how the intelligence of the mother and intelligence of the child, how they work together. Now, what really happens if you sow that seed in a dry sand, it won't germinate. It is intelligent being. As soon as the water comes out, the rain comes, it triggers life. Multitasking, many tentacles will go into the ground, the bud will start rising towards the sun. It already knew how to use solar energy. We are making these solar panels now. And that small little plant already knew it. 4 or 5 inches. We cover it up with a box to block the sun and make a hole underneath near the roots from where a sun ray goes every morning. This plant turns down and comes out of the hole. That proves that wherever the attention goes, the divine energy flows. Look at the sunflower, how it moves around, how intelligent it is, because it is doing seva, I tell you. It draws that energy from the sun and converts its color like, like chameleon. गिरगिट की तरह से रंग बदल के वो सेंटर में those seeds will be of black color, because it already knew the black can absorb more of energy of the sun. Now look how intelligent it is. We go to the next story for the children, the giraffe. It has got 7 bones in the neck. Humans have got 7. Dog has got 7.
Professor Bhardwaj, you will have to conclude it, because
I'm concluding, sir. I'm just near that part.
Yes, yes.
Just a few more minutes. Now, this is how the attention of the giraffe was to eat the tender leaves from the top of the tree. So gradually his neck and legs became taller, as women in Myanmar and Thailand put those rings around the neck to make the neck taller, about a feet. And the boys go to the gym and create their bodies. Their attention has gone. Attention has created these computers, those telephones, and all latest things. Now this computer, if I compare with the human body, it's a hardware. Then it has got a software in it. And then you are the operator, my dear. Now, as you are the operator, this software of the computer has got so many viruses. So now the human mind has been put so many viruses in it. And it is only this Indian culture, all these cultures on which we are talking are satsangs, and that is what it can remove all those viruses from the mind and can make that human being, which is going to be superhuman, as Talia ji been saying about that from that single cell we graduated to the human body. Now we are understanding things. We are intelligent enough, so we can understand that if we keep on fighting with each other, the humanity will finish. We will be dead. We will be extinct. So now this has to be understood, and this knowledge has to be given to the children. And this is how the mother can do a fantastic work by training that child once it is in the womb, so that she talks about all this knowledge, so that it gets embedded. जैसे कि वो in the Mahabharata also there is a scene, कि Chakravyuh तोड़ने के लिए how within the mother's womb he understood many things. So these are some of the hints, clues on that. And it happens. There are many big areas on this. So I would like to finish this talk here, because there is not much of a time and I had interruptions. So we can have a separate talk on the whole concept, that how this sustainable human transformation can take place by giving this knowledge to the students. And we are working on it. We have made, 32 classes per year, once a week class, even for higher education. AICTE chairman Anil Sahasrabudhe has really appreciated the whole concept. So let us all get together here, and all the scholars will get together and let us do all that part. We are writing a book also, which will be available soon after another 2-3 months, and things will be fine that way. Thank you very much, my dear.
Thank you, Professor Bhardwaj ji. Dr. Indrani from Trinidad, you wanted to ask one question about mind and soul from Professor Bhardwaj. You can ask.
Welcome.
Yes, namaste all.
Namaskar.
Professor, thank you. Thank you for your very scientific approach to explaining this very deep subject. You know, humanity really needs this, but my question is, can you explain to me the nature of Atman? I don't like the word soul, because in the Western world, it confuses us with the Abrahamic understanding of soul. So
Right.
we should keep to Atman. Can
Right.
you describe for me the nature of that Atman, please?
Okay, I will explain both. You know, actually, you have mixed the word Atman. So please only talk Atma. Atman has been, invented by someone, which is not so. Because mind is mind, Atma is Atma. Man is man and Atma is. Now let me explain you that the creator, your Atma is representing the creator here. Now this creator has got beautiful divine attributes as a creator. What are these? I'm explaining them to you now in a line. It is love, compassion, mercy, forgiveness, wisdom, humility, patience, state-of-art planning ability and its execution ability. Let us face as it comes, justice, etc. These are all divine attributes, my dear. Now, love has been explained by the Western scholars in the psychology, which they have explained at the level of the body. What they have done, that they have explained love as, lust at the level of the mind and sex at the level of the body. And they have only mentioned these two, body and mind. Whereas the love needs to be explained again. Love is caring. Mother's love is the greatest thing to be known. And whereas I explained you about the mind because you said Atman. So now I am separately explaining you the attributes of the mind, which is dealing only with information and experiences in the body, events, etc. These are regarding lust, anger, ego, attachment, deceit, pre-calculates the future, fears and worries get added. So that is what is mind. And that deals with laws of nature also. Every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. That's the universal mind, which is operating your mind through high tide, low tide. Because your body has also got 75-80% water, it boils up and triggers certain components of your brain and your moods swing that way. And this is what, and the body, I told you what it deals with: hunger, clothes, housing, vanities of the world, sex and sleep. So this is what is the definition of these words which you asked me, Indrani ji. Have I satisfied you? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Bhardwaj ji. Let me clarify one thing. This Atman has not been coined by anybody else. In fact, the basic root is Atman. And when it is inflicted, then it is says Atma, Atmanau, Atmanah. So the basic root is Atman, but this is, you cannot make it like Atma plus Man. This Atman, it's not Atma plus Man, it's a separate Atma itself. While writing in English, the scholars, they write as Atman. So एक बहुत अच्छा आपने इस पे व्याख्यान दिया, और मैं एक ब्रीफ में ये जो कहना चाहते हैं उसके बारे में आपको थोड़ा सा बता देता हूं। हमारे पास तीन चीजें हैं, हमारे पास शरीर है, हमारा मन है और हमारा आत्मा है। तो प्रायः सब लोगों में एक कंफ्यूजन है। तीन प्रकार के ही लोग हैं इस दुनिया में। एक तो वो व्यक्ति हैं जो शरीर को ही आत्मा मानते हैं, अब शरीर ही सब कुछ है। और जो आपने बताया कि जो यूनिवर्सल सोल है या यूनिवर्सल पावर है, उसने बहुत अच्छे लव है, पैशन है, ये सभी जो चीजें उसने दी हैं, इन सबको हमने धर्म कहा है। धर्म अधर्म उसकी संख्या में आती, जितनी भी एथिकल चीजें हैं, मोरल चीजें हैं, ये सभी उसमें आते हैं। तो जो व्यक्ति शरीर को ही आत्मा मानता है, तो वो सब इन चीजों को शरीर के लेवल पे अप्लाई करता है। कुछ ऐसे लोग हैं जो शरीर को तो आत्मा नहीं मानते, परंतु मन को आत्मा मानते हैं। अब ये मन क्या है, इनकी परिभाषा भी ठीक है और हमारी परिभाषा में भी वैसा ही है वेदों में। मन क्या है, जो बाह्य जगत की इंफॉर्मेशन होती है वो मन में होती है, और उस इंफॉर्मेशन को ही हम संस्कार कहते हैं। जितना बाह्य जगत की जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, वो जो आपके मन में भरी हुई है, उस माइंड विद इंफॉर्मेशन, मॉडिफाइड माइंड, उसको हम मॉडिफाइड माइंड भी कहते हैं, जिसमें बाह्य जगत की इंफॉर्मेशन हो, ऐसा माइंड जो है वो पतंजलि योग दर्शन में उसको चित्त कहा है, डबल तय वाला चित्त। और जो माइंड जब वो इंफॉर्मेशन फ्री हो जाता है तो वो सीधा सोल के साथ अटैच हो जाता है, उसमें और सोल में कोई अंतर नहीं होता है, ये हमारे यहाँ कहा गया है। तो ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, जैसे बीज का उदाहरण दिया, तो बीज का शरीर है, बीज में जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो उसका माइंड है, उसके आधार पे वो डेवलप होगा। और वो जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उसको इंफॉर्मेशन है कि पानी, सूर्य की किरणें, मिट्टी सब होगी तो मैं डेवलप होऊंगा। तो वो जब सब चीजें आएगी तो वो उसका माइंड काम करता भी, मैं यहाँ पर काम कर रहा हूँ, ये बात कहना चाहते हैं। और ये कहते हैं कि जहां भी आपने कंसंट्रेशन लगा दी, जिसको कहा ना संकल्प ध्यान है योग में, सारी जो ब्रह्मांड की शक्तियां हैं वहीं पर एकत्र हो जाएंगी। वो इसलिए जो चित्त है, जो मन है, वो कहते हैं मन से ही सारा विकास हो रहा है व्यक्ति का। जैसा आपका मन है, जैसे आप मन में विचार रखेंगे वैसे संस्कार उत्पन्न होंगे, और वैसा ही सारा आपका जो उत्पत्ति है, सर्ग है, सृष्टि है, वो होती चलेगी। इसलिए वेदांत में बहुत अच्छा एक सेंटेंस कहा है, संस्कार बीजात सृष्टि। ये जो संस्कार है, माइंड में जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपने डाल ली है, वही आपका बीज का काम करता है आपकी सृष्टि के लिए। तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं करूंगा क्योंकि टाइम बहुत कम है। तो मैं प्रोफेसर भारद्वाज जी का बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं, और अवश्य ही हम मिलके इस पे कार्य करेंगे, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है। और स्पेशल भी कुछ हम एक सेमिनार इस पे करेंगे जो ही समय मिलेगा, और जल्दी ही। भारद्वाज जी मेरे बहुत पुराने मित्र हैं, तो अब की बार इन्होंने स्वयं, जैसे हमारे मुख्य अतिथि जी ने ही मुझे स्वयं प्रस्ताव दिया, तो ऐसे विद्वान लोग बहुत कम हैं जो कि इंटरेस्ट रखते हैं, तो ये उन विद्वानों में से है।